We back for episode 3 of the Busy Doing Nothing podcast. I am your host, Mr. Freeminds. To my left, I have
Taylor, aka Doc. To my left, I have
Rosa. To my left, I have
Lonnie Lynn.
and definitely appreciate you coming through.
Hey,
Lonnie from the Don't Judge Me podcast, radio show, all that. She doing things, big things.
yes.
Take that.
Take that.
Let's go ahead and get these shots in, even though they all different things.
Drink of the
I
day.
had more than this chocolate.
That's actually not bad.
Drink of the day. What is it? Sweet.
I had to read the tag on the back because it was in actual English. That says Sweet Lucy's. Lucy's.
That's sweet.
It's hard to read though.
It's
Like
cursive.
Can't
that ain't
read
cursive. I seen cursive. That look
Take
like
that shit out.
Louis.
Right.
But it's Lucy.
It's a serum.
It
Oh,
look
okay.
like-
I see.
it
You
look
see.
like-
Yeah, but I wasn't saying that.
Okay.
So Sweet Lucy's is the drink of the day. It's a whiskey. I think it's like caramel infused or something.
Really?
I can taste the
Some type of
caramel.
something. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll give it a 3.5.
No, it wasn't like that drink last week.
No. Ed Hardy's uncle need to stop
So it
making
was good. Give it a 3.5.
3.5 out of 5. It's like a
I love how you always add that half just to
I gave the drink
yeah.
right.
I'm always giving stuff half,
Yeah.
right?
Give him a 4.
Right.
Because last
You
week
say
I
like
gave the drink
3.7.
last week a 3. And
You gave it a 3? I gave it a 2.5.
it didn't deserve a 3. Yeah, and I was like, that one didn't deserve a
Or you
3.
being
Was
nice.
that one a dark too, y'all?
It was a dark liquor too.
That was the rum.
That was the rum.
Oh.
And I gave it 3. I revoked
Savage
that.
Jerry.
It was like a 2. Like,
I always feel like
I
y'all
gave
already
it a
low with
2.5.
the
Yeah, you're right. I do be
Y'all-
kind of liberal with the half points. It's like,
You always say half.
I feel like 2 is too little, 3 is too much. Just
You be
2.5.
right
I'll
there.
revisit it at the end of the
2.7.
show.
Right.
If I still think that this is maybe a 3. I'm giving all of them 3. I gave all the drinks a 3 this season so far.
I'm starting to feel like this is reflecting on my selection choice because it'd be like I can't keep choosing 3s. I gotta get something better.
Oh,
maybe
Consistent with 3s. here.
right. Maybe this is speaking to me and not the actual liquors. I need to do better.
But what made you choose this liquor this time?
Well, I definitely was not getting a rum again because no, and I wasn't going vodka because I need at least like a 2 or 3 weeks advance notice to know I'm gonna be drinking vodka because
It's like that.
vodka.
I
need
tear
a
you
heads up. I need a heads
shoot,
up if I'm
like,
gonna be drinking
I gotta
You
vodka.
gotta have a
You
pep
know,
talk with his
lightweight.
liver first.
Yeah, I do. I gotta be like,
And his
look,
pep talk, like, listen.
we got the podcast. I just don't need you to fail on me. I ain't trying to be coughing up no type of blood or whatever it is that happens when your liver give out on you.
That's like when we had that Ciroc last season.
I promise you, you will never see me come up with a bottle of Ciroc again.
No, don't.
I don't care what the
I
flavor
had
is.
the worst
I don't care what the
hangover.
specialty
It was
is.
the middle of the day.
Wow.
I
like,
don't do Ciroc.
No,
like,
I don't do light, so
no, I don't do light either. But like, I can try certain vodkas, but I need a heads up. I can't just. I'm not a light drinker. But yeah. So, how was everybody's week?
my week was good. I didn't really do anything. My Photoshop now works thanks to you.
oh good.
Like I was struggling
I
with
saw
it.
that. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
I was trying to be like
Works.
remote technical support. Like you gotta
He
press
just
this
helped
button.
me
You gotta do that.
Figure what was going on.
Control Alt Delete.
But that was the only, that pretty much was keeping me down this week because I was like, oh my god, if I don't get this thing to work, how I'm making money.
Oh.
Like, like I was like, because I make my side money that way.
Like I was telling you,
So-
I have one computer specifically for that purpose. If that program stops working on that computer, I'm taking the whole computer and I'm throwing it out the window. 'Cause I don't need it for nothing else. Like you're only here for Photoshop. You know what you're here for.
You know why you're king.
Right, you know why you're here.
here.
That's good. You know, the usual adulting. Working, having no life, trying to get this money. Shout out to Cardi. Cardi.
Oh
But,
yes.
You know,
Oh yeah, she did drop that album.
it's lit.
I heard some of it last
No,
night.
so you can't. No, I want to hear some
I
of
like
it. What you
it.
mean? Some
I
of
heard
it?
some of it.
I
But
heard some of it too.
Some of it.
okay,
I ain't hear the whole thing
I
yet.
heard the whole
say
thing.
that.
I feel like 2 songs.
I ain't
like-
listened to
I
nothing
like-
else yet. Actually, no, I listened to Saba, but other than that, it's just been strictly.
That
Saba.
first song of the album, I think it's the first song. But she got a song in there that sounds like she's trying to Meek Mill herself. and I'm just like,
Yeah.
Her
I can see
intro.
what you
that's
The
the
intro.
intro. Oh,
Yeah.
and it's the intro. Yeah, that was.
Once
too
you
unique.
get past that, though, that's the only.
It wasn't bad.
But
it was
that's
just
the
like,
only track on there that some people are like,
but it wasn't
and
bad.
I get that.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was just like, I see what you're trying to do, and I feel like, considering the fact that she blew with the Bodak Yellow, which is obviously the Kodak Black type joint, and then her intro is Meek Mill-esque. It's just like, where's your sound?
That I want to address that because she doesn't have one. She literally everything think about her songs like Body Cardi, that's from a drink. Like she got a whole bunch of different things that she just takes
And her
then
stage name is from
remix.
a
Yeah,
like she got.
she takes and remixes it
Yeah.
and creates it her own
Her stage name is literally from a
drink.
drink.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't
That's
think
what I
it's
meant. Her
that she
name's
doesn't have a sound.
Well, see,
I feel like with this album, you can see that she's a little versatile.
Yeah. Well, deriving your song off of a certain thing, and like you said, she's basing it off of a drink. That's different than your song sounding like somebody else's song.
No,
All
not
these
if
songs
that's her
sound
brand.
like. I felt like a lot of songs sounded like you can
Yeah,
listen to
exactly.
anything.
All of that.
And there was, you forgot that whole, what was that, DJ Mustard era where every fucking song sounded exactly alike.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of,
I think it goes on her
as long
brand,
as she
though.
killing it, she kills
So you
it
think
in her way.
brand-
I
you
think that's what her brand is
plays
about.
off of
I
what's
think her
popular?
brand plays off of that. Like I think she literally, she copies off of other people and makes it into a Cardi B type version of whatever she's
So she's
copying.
trying to
off
Lil
of.
Wayne in the industry.
Kinda, yeah,
Basically.
If you didn't have a problem with, he did it.
Basically.
yeah.
Well, that's different. But I mean, I like Cardi B. I don't say any of that to sound like I don't like. I like Cardi B. I would take her over Nicki Minaj.
Any day.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
But
I was not expecting
I can. Oh, really?
I'd be
Yeah.
ready to argue. Like,
Yeah, like all of us agree,
nah,
like, yeah.
Nikki, no.
I would take Cardi B over Nicki Minaj, but even that being said, I can only take Cardi B in doses, like small doses. I couldn't listen to the whole album all the way through because it would just be like.
I definitely could.
That's how I feel about
Because
her
everything was
previous
different.
albums.
Everything was not the same. Like, I couldn't compare.
I think
I listened to the whole thing, so I can't compare Moneybag to Through Your Phone. Like, I can't put I Do, the joint she got with SZA, to Barty and Cardi. Like, I can.
Yeah.
She got a
none
song
of
with
it.
Kalani too.
Yeah,
right?
she does. She got a song called Ring with Kalani. You ain't gonna put that to that intro that you said was like Meek Millish. Like, it's different vibes throughout the whole thing, but it's done in a Cardi way.
I like the song she had with Chance the Rapper.
That one too.
This
But I
is
would
her
say
most
it's
versatile album.
probably my
For a
feeling
debut
towards
album,
that.
this is
Yeah.
the shit. Like,
yeah.
Like listening to her other
The
stuff
replay value
prior,
is high.
I couldn't say I can listen to her mixtapes through.
I never
Like
listened
I
to
can't listen to those through. They kind of sound the same throughout the whole thing.
don't know
I think
what one of
this.
them is.
what? Gangsta Bitch Music Volume 1 and 2. All right.
But I think but no, I say that because I do think that the stigma of the the women rapper falls upon me because it's like, but so much I can take of women rappers.
I think
At
I
one
get
time.
exactly what you're saying.
So it's like I can listen to rap, rap or whoever all day, but like when if it's a woman rapper song, I can listen to it, I can like it, I can listen to the next one, I can like it. Come track 3 or 4, I'm just like,
You over it.
yeah, it's just like I
Why do you
Right.
think you're harder on?
I was like,
rapper?
you
I
ain't
don't know.
right.
I don't know. I
Right.
honestly could not give you a reason. I think that's just the way it is because I just think that's how hip hop has been. And I don't know. I didn't make the rules. I just play by them. It's just
Right. That's everybody's point now is why do you have to play by that specific rule anymore?
I don't know.
Like the
I
whole
can't-
thing
I
is
don't
everybody
know.
is like, oh, Cardi is taking Nicki's spot, but nobody will sit here and say only one male rapper from Atlanta can be listened to at the
Right.
moment. But when it's a woman rapper, you're like, oh no,
it's
we can
always
only
one
it's one or
woman
the
is
other.
on top.
It's
yeah,
one or the
like
other.
it's
You
one
can't
woman that gotta be
listen-
on top.
You can't listen to Cardi without thinking about Nicki and vice
Right.
versa.
I
You'd be
think
like, wow,
because-
why can't they both be on the same playlist?
I think
Like-
because it has to break a mold because historically that always really has
Yeah.
been one female
Yeah.
rapper at a time.
That's the
Whereas there
problem.
hasn't been multiple for people to be like, yo, this doesn't even make sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's always really only been one women rapper at a time.
We need to
be on
stop
top.
that. Yeah.
I think
I
the
feel
only-
like it's always like that though, because it's like Lil Kim and Remy. It's always like that little. You know,
I mean, they
They're
tried
from two
to-
different eras. They
Right.
was just beefing
Yeah,
off some more
but-
other shit. But that's why they beefing, because everybody seems to think that they can only be one, and
they
that's
can
not the
only hold
case.
one side,
Mhm.
and I feel like it's
All these rappers, all the women rappers that really are being compared, all come from New York.
Right.
So it's
And
like
that's-
they can
and-
only
and-
be one New York rapper. Nobody told,
Right.
Well,
like nobody
if you-
said
if-
that in the '90s. Nigga, everybody came from
Right.
New York.
What I feel like is that whole mentality is why New York style rap died anyway, and Atlanta picked up and became its own thing, because only the main rappers in New York was thinking like, okay, it can only be one. When Atlanta came on, it was we all
Yeah,
going to
they
do our
did
thing
come out,
together.
they
We
did.
gonna put on,
The
we gonna
South
all
did
work
come
together.
as a family,
Yeah.
Right,
like-
we all gonna put on, and it's just gonna be
Yeah.
what it is. And I feel like that mentality of the New York style rapper is why we are where we are today in hip hop, because.
it came from New York.
Right. Well, it came from New York, then it went to Atlanta, and then
Yeah.
Atlanta took it and ran with it and turned it into whatever they turned
Cali
it
got
into.
their own spin on it too.
They do, but Cali
Got a major
Cali comes
influence
in.
it,
Cali
too.
comes in waves. Like Cali ain't one of the ones that you look for hip hop. They come in
Some
waves
people
where it
don't
was,
really do. It's a West Side,
Yeah,
East Side thing.
it's a certain sound that they have
that doesn't make it over here.
that doesn't make it over here, and there's certain artists that are coming from here that are inspired by a lot of West Coast rappers that I can honestly say probably won't make it here, because that's just not what's happening over here. You gotta go where your sound is.
Right.
They have a sound that's completely different than South and East, and it's a to each their own type of situation.
Yeah.
I just feel like everybody can make it. God damn it, shit.
Yeah, you just gotta.
Just make one lit ass playlist with everybody on it.
Right.
I think the way that women gonna break that stigma is if like it's like one female artist that's just gonna be willing to just work with.
That
Oh,
would
I
have
think
been
that's Cardi.
Nicki
All the
Minaj,
time.
but she blew it.
No, she
No,
got too
Nicki
diva.
Minaj, yeah, she
She
did.
blew it.
She
She got
fucked
too
it up.
diva.
Nicki Minaj could have been
Yeah.
that figure, but she blew
I
it.
feel like it's Cardi. I feel like
Yeah.
it can be Cardi, because
But she has work to do.
people
to
love
get to that
Cardi,
position,
and you like people really love her for her. That's her brand. Her
Yeah.
brand is just
It's herself.
her being her
I-
and her story.
I like Cardi
So her
B.
sound and brand is like two different things. So that's why I feel like if you think about the women that she's had on this album with Kalani and SZA and sampling Lauryn Hill, and it's like, you know, well, not really sampling, but like going off of that shit. She could fucking get Lauryn. I feel like she could get Lauryn on a damn track.
She has the right mentality to do what she's doing, but I feel like her platform isn't as big yet for it to make that impact. She has to have.
It's
She
getting
has
pretty
to have
close, though.
Shit.
to Nicki Minaj.
Nicki
I'm
Minaj
not-
is fucking up her platform,
Let
though.
me-
Nicki
no,
Minaj
no,
is
no, no,
fucking
no,
it
no,
up.
no. I will say this much about Nicki Minaj, even though I can't stand her. Nicki Minaj has had her platform for a long time. It's
Yeah, it's been
time
it's
driven.
consistent.
Whereas
This is
Cardi B
Cardi's
is kind
first
of
year.
like pop
Yeah.
blow,
Yeah.
but it's not sustained, and we don't know if it's going to be sustained until it's sustained. And once she gets to that level of sustainability, then she can then make this difference that y'all talking about. But I feel like right now she doesn't have that.
I feel like anytime
Yeah,
Oprah talking about
somewhere.
she bumping Cardi,
Oh,
Cardi
no,
can
I
make
didn't
shit
know-
happen.
I didn't know. I didn't
Oprah
know
posted a picture saying she was listening to Cardi's album. I feel like anytime Oprah is like,
That's money.
And it's
you know,
because
and
Cardi
Beyonce
is a
is
personality.
like, you know,
Personality is
Obama
what's
too,
winning
you never
people.
mentioned
yeah,
Obama.
like
You
Beyonce
never
like
know.
her, Oprah like her.
Yeah,
You got
like,
the
it's
two
her
queens of the world
personality.
right there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I fuck with her. So
And she not acting diva-ish. Like
Yeah,
she
she
just,
is.
she's her.
She
She's
being
still
her.
what she
She
say.
being real.
A regular,
And I think
schmegular,
that's why
degular
a
girl
lot
from
of
the
people
Bronx.
respect her because she's being real.
She's
A
so
lot of these
down to
female,
earth.
like Nicki Minaj, going through that stage of Barbie. Like
Mhm.
it's like Cardi's real. She been real. Everybody loved her since loving hip hop. You know what I mean? So I feel like her transitioning to this, she's still keeping real and it's genuine. So she's being real with everybody.
And then she
so.
a little bit more. She humble. She humble right now.
Yeah,
And I just hope she don't lose that.
I don't think
Because,
she will.
I feel like I don't think she will. I think she'll always be feeling herself because that's what she's supposed to do.
She likes him.
But that's no is because what you're supposed to do. But I felt like she always going to be like, you know, like she said, she actually said in one of her songs that this is her story. Like she's going to stick to, she ain't never about to, you know, switch up and act like she something she not. She know what the fuck she came from.
True.
That's why she was like, I ain't about to stunt like that. I know where I came from. It is what it is. Yeah, I'm gonna rock all this, but you know what I've been through. I pay my mother's bills. Like,
And that's what's up. I mean, I like Cardi B.
you just gotta listen to the album, yo.
I did.
Put it on and clean up.
I gotta listen to it. You said play it during clean up.
Actually, you know what I did? I listened to it, and then I listened to it in the car.
That's two different things.
And then it's way different. Like, I listened to it and I fucked with it. But then I was like, when I put that up, like, let me go make something up to do today, I definitely drove over east.
Then you were like, yeah.
I was like,
that's the shit.
I don't see my sister. She live over east. I'm about to just go take this ride. Long ass ride. But I got through, I know, right? But it was cool for what I needed it for. So I got through the album through the car. I think that's what's going to grab you.
It depends on where you listen to stuff that affects how you feel about it. I wouldn't be able to sit in the house and listen to it. I don't know much. But that's a lot of people's albums now. It ain't got nothing to do with her. Or her being a woman. I can't really listen. Like, a lot of rappers nowadays, I cannot just attentively listen to.
In the house?
Yeah, like headphones on, listen to type thing. Because it's just like, they just don't have it. But
you gotta be doing something.
Yeah, it's gotta be active. Something I'm doing that's kind of like in the background. I can't really, like, the last album I think I listened to with headphones on was Kendrick.
Wow. That's a perspective.
Yeah, that's just, I don't know. But
you know, I've been saying like guys post status saying like, no matter how hard it gets, I'm not bumping Cardi B. I've been seeing people say
that.
I'm not gonna go there.
You know what's crazy? I haven't seen that. I've seen a bunch of men like hella flame emojis, like Cardi B is this shit fire, posting lyrics. I'm like,
it's half and half. Like on my timeline, it's dudes that's been literally saying, I'm not bumping Cardi B in my car. Like, I'm not, and I'm sitting there like, why? Like, what? Like why?
At the stoplight and let bitches twerk on the sidewalk. That's
like, why? Why? I don't understand why they're saying it.
I can't relate in terms of that notion, but I can see why they might feel that way.
Like, why?
Because to be as a especially if you can call by yourself, as a guy to be driving down the street bumping a woman. Again, this goes to the
masculinity.
I'm not. Y'all know. I cannot justify it, but I'm saying there's an innate thought that I can understand why they feel that way.
Shout out to my co-host Ryan. And boyfriend, yes, he does. He don't care. He was like, listen, he listened to what's that, Cali album and Cardi album. He actually told me, he came to me because I was still asleep. I woke up on Friday in the afternoon, and he was like, yo, that shit flames. Like, you ain't even wait for me, Doug. Like, he did that on his own. You gotta let that go.
That's what's up. No,
like, I don't understand why is it like that though? Like, it should not be no problem to bump her.
I feel like a middle-aged white man.
Like, it's not like it's
black people.
You're not bumping Beyonce. Like, this isn't Beyonce that you bumping in your car. This is Cardi.
Kelly Clarkson. It's Cardi B.
Yeah.
She's a fucking gangster.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. So I don't see how
it's
within your range of
musical intervention. Sexist musical intervention.
But like I said, like I'm not the one. I'm not trying to talk down about it. It's just like that's just
a little condition.
I'm trying to break through.
You need help.
I'm trying to break through. Y'all pray for me.
It's okay.
Definitely.
We're gonna have it.
I'm praying to MC Light that you get your. To all the queens, I'm calling them.
I need some of that.
Yeah, that.
But I don't. You know what? It's one of those days, and I'm already a little whatever. I went to. Oh, we didn't even finish the whole.
Yeah. So how was your weekend?
I was wondering when it was gonna come back.
Yeah.
My week was fine, regular adulting and shit. And the hell did I do this week? Besides my shows. That's it. That's all. That's all I do. Don't judge me.
I just went to work.
I try to keep up with like my craft as much as my day job. So it's like
that's the shameless plug.
What I did.
Oh yeah, me radio show.
Well, it's not shameless if you do it.
Okay, go ahead. Well, you do that.
Don't Judge Me podcast. Follow us on Instagram.
See, I didn't know which word to use.
Don't Judge Me podcast. Yes, on Instagram and Facebook, and you'll find us and listen to our live radio shows on Wednesdays. 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Let us get you through those 2 hours when the woman who's ignoring you is not texting you back. Let us get you through that, Let her put her kids down and listen to her. She got to watch the kids up, so you might as well just go ahead and tune in and listen to us.
I cannot.
That's the truth. That's around that
Is
time.
it not?
That's
That's 8 o'clock.
around that time.
More
That's what's
shopping.
happening.
Yeah.
My week was cool. Regular stuff. Trying to work, working and, moving and shaking, I guess. And then we went to the bar crawl earlier today. It was pretty cool. But it's not.
Was it a lot of people there?
It was
The
okay.
90s
a good
one?
amount.
Yeah,
I went to the 90s
bar crawl.
one when it was still cold. The last one that came.
Yeah, it was the 90s bar crawl. They had another. It's still cold. I mean, it's cold.
No, I mean like November type, like round there somewhere. And I was like,
It was just as cold
confused.
then as it was today.
Yeah, you're right. Because I was confused because I was dressing for the outside 90s attire, and then I got drunk and I was hot, and I was like, shit.
There's a lot of people, but it kind of cleared out early though.
It cleared out, but I think it was gonna be like waves because you're gonna have
True.
the people
That's
come
usually how
early
it goes.
specifically for the 90s
the-
party, and then
yeah.
you're gonna have the night crowd come in,
True.
whoever they are, if they still go to power plant. I don't know who still goes to power plant at
Yeah,
nighttime.
I don't know.
But yeah, I mean the 90s party was cool. It ain't gonna have nothing on the BDN 90s party. See,
Word.
Hey.
Get your ticket.
Hey.
Shameless plug.
Hey, that's the shameless
It's
plug.
gonna be
June
lit.
2nd.
June
You
2nd.
and that.
10 to 2. Make
Hello.
sure you dress up in your 90s gear.
Hello.
We in
Get
here.
a gift, and you will receive it if you got the best outfit.
Hello.
But yeah, it was cool. So I guess we can in other news.
Then what was the topic?
The guy getting shot.
Oh yeah. So, first topic for
I feel like I
today.
should know his name.
I don't know the
respect.
dude's name, but I know that everybody probably seen this video on their timeline because like it appeared on my timeline and people been sharing it, which I don't get why people wants to share people dying or getting shot on their timeline. I don't understand why people do this.
Social media. is
Like, cause this reminds me of that old guy that got shot.
that
Yeah.
shot, yeah.
Like, but a girl shot her friend on Facebook Live playing with a gun. Like, I think it was his gun.
He handed her the gun,
Okay,
showing her like.
so to go to your point of you don't know why people share the videos, granted you don't want to see it, but I'm glad it gets shared because it shows what happened. It lets more people who might know what's going on have the information and be like, okay, I recognize these people. She's stupid. I know who that is. It's going down.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so it getting shared is a good thing and a bad thing. And I saw it and it was just like,
This is the one thing I actually watched. I don't usually watch it like that on Facebook,
I be watching
but I
more stuff.
watched
I be thinking
it,
it'd be fake.
and then I watched it again,
I watched it like
and
2
And
times.
then it
again.
rang.
And I was just like, what the fuck just happened? That's why I had to keep watching it. Like,
Like,
that's not this real. Like, this
she didn't even
happened.
help her friend. Like,
Her first, the fight or flight, girl.
Yeah,
She got the
yeah.
fuck out of there.
No, because I didn't see.
You
it.
ain't
I didn't
see
wanna-
it?
I didn't.
All right,
really wanna
so
watch it,
basically, the guy, was in the,
She
I
was
guess,
what,
dark
Instagram, Facebook Live, one of them lives.
I feel like it was Instagram.
Okay.
Might have been Instagram. He had a gun and he was like showing her how to do it. He cocked it and he handed it to her. Like, he had the gun and he took her hand and was like showing her how to pull the trigger without actually pulling the trigger. And I think she was playing
This
like
the guy in the backseat you talking about?
huh?
The one
No,
that was in the
no, no.
backseat?
This was
No,
the
this
guy
is the
who
The guy
one
got
that got
shot.
shot.
Oh, okay.
handed
Yeah.
I didn't
the
see a whole
gun.
video. I just saw like a 15-second
No,
clip
the-
of when she shot him.
Well, yeah. Well, he handed her that gun, and I guess she was playing around, like, and pulled the fucking trigger
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and shot him, like,
in the head.
yes.
In the head.
So he's like leaking in the car, and the guy in the back seat and the woman who shot him,
They did. They
jump
left.
out.
Wow.
They jump out. But this was on live.
Right.
Like, yeah. Like, yeah.
Where are you running from? Like, we
Everybody
see you.
saw it. Yeah.
we saw you, Doug. Like,
And it was just like, I don't know, like I don't like gory stuff, graphic stuff doesn't bother me unless it's like a legitimate Health Channel surgery. I can't watch those. But like violence and things of that nature does not bother me for some reason. Maybe I'm just weird. But
it's not. It's
the
because
only-
you
but what-
conditioned
It's so
them.
stupid.
Like,
Hey, you did
Yeah.
What did bother me was when she shot him, that noise he made as he was like leaned
Oh,
over. That did kind of bother me.
It was his hands that bothered me because
I
you
didn't see
could
his
tell
hands.
like he was losing some
His
real
brain.
brain activity
Yeah.
because his hands like clenched up like
Yeah.
this, and I was just like,
I'm glad I didn't.
I-
see that,
I-
'cause
I
that's
can't-
sad.
it was
it
sad.
is sad.
And then I could.
But the fact that he's still alive is great.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
very good.
But now, if he make it through this, he gonna get locked up. Like,
Because
he's
it's
gonna.
probably not. Was it illegal?
I don't
was it
know.
a legally registered gun?
I don't know. She's locked up. The front isn't locked up. He's not locked up.
They posted pictures of apparently the two guys beefing the day before this happened.
Wow.
What?
Oh, it could have been a setup thing.
On Facebook. A lot of people tried to say that it was a setup, but like
I'm not going.
they were actively beefing with each other. I wouldn't say it's a setup if you nigga, you know I got
If you
static
are,
with
yeah.
you. I'm not about to sit here and at least have a gun in
You
somebody.
can't figure it.
Right.
Oh, no,
Nigga, what?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
nah.
Yeah, nah. Like
It was
So why does
complete
everything
idiocy.
have to be posted on
But yeah,
social
that's
media,
my
though?
thing.
She was
Like-
up. Well, she
Problem.
had already had it up on social media. It wasn't even like it was recorded and
True.
posted. It was recorded on social media,
Mhm.
Like, they were just going live, being dumb, playing with a gun
Yeah.
on live.
which is
True.
completely
It's still
stupid.
stupid though because a lot of
And these are
accidents like
adults.
this
Like these aren't
happen.
even children. Like I could see if these were children because it's like you don't know better. But
Yeah.
these
Nah.
are adults.
You know, and that was my point. Like, you grown, you are a full adult,
Right.
and you know,
Like, you
at
probably
least,
older than
you
us.
know at least the minimum amount of gun safety. Like,
Don't
not
play with guns.
like
Right.
not point the barrel directly at
Hey, somebody, yeah,
like,
yo, like,
what type of shit is that? Like,
that was stupid. And then
But
she
I
I know
think
y'all went to
I
high
heard-
school and saw all
Right.
Like, nah,
you can't
yo,
even shoot
like,
the fake
nah.
right. You can't even point the rifles at people. Like,
I
you can't
heard
do that.
in the video it was the dude in the back seat when he tried to tell like, yo, you tripping with that gun, like don't point it in my direction. The dude in the back seat was like, ain't no bullets in it, it's all right.
what
But
the fuck?
at the same time, it's just like, yo,
Probably one in the chamber.
yeah, it's all like if she could cock it back, it's one in the chamber,
Mm-hmm.
and that might have been the only bullet in the gun, and she shot him with it, and it's just like, I don't know, like as an adult, you should know don't play with guns. Now I think he could have maybe been a little bit more.
They think that shit cute. You know?
He could have been a little bit more like, yo, stop. Because he kind of just, once
Yeah,
you,
it looked like he was trying to be like stopping it.
it's like
too
he
late.
was real passive
Yeah,
about it.
he
But if
was just
somebody
like,
playing
I
with a
saw his
gun right
hand
next
go
to me,
up though. Like, he was trying to say something like, oh, like,
he said it, but
his
he was real,
nonverbals was saying chill.
he was real passive
Right,
with it.
yeah.
But if somebody is playing with a gun right next to me and
Yeah.
In
pointing
a
in my
closed
direction,
area, like a
Like a
ain't
car.
no, yeah, ain't no,
Like-
I'm just gonna kind of let it slide. Like you don't want to stop playing. Like no, you gonna stop playing with this gun right next to me,
Right.
pointing it in my direction. Like I'm going to hold my hand on this gun.
And it take a bit to pull a trigger. Like,
Yeah, it's not easy.
I shoot guns. Me and my father, we go to the gun range,
I want to go back to
Yeah.
the gun. It's fine.
and we shoot guns.
Yeah, it's
so it's
definitely
like
it's not an easy pull.
it's not like you can try, and sometimes if you squeeze it too slow, it won't even
won't do it.
happen. So you gotta really be pulling at it, and for a first time,
She
But she probably thought it was
She
a game.
probably,
You
she
can't
probably
pull it
thought
like
it wasn't
that.
nothing in there though. Because if he told her that it wasn't nothing in the gun,
and she still
Yeah,
pointed at
and
him,
she still-
playing,
yeah.
and pulled the trigger.
yeah,
Yeah, nah. I think she should be locked away. Just
well, she is
not even-
locked up right
Yeah,
now.
but I mean, not even for the simple fact that she shot him. It's just
It's
because
just all
you're
stupidity.
stupid. Yeah, like you're stupid. Like
yo,
you don't need to
you
be around
fucking
anybody.
Be a
Like
menace to society right now.
right, like just go away. Like that's all.
Be out
Just go
here.
away. She should be locked up just off of that alone. Like you dumb. Just there's no hope for you.
And I just don't like. I don't know if the gun legal or not, but like
Yeah, I
if
don't
this
know
guy, if it's not legal, if this guy come back to good health, he's gonna get locked up too. Because if it's not a legal gun, then he's gonna get locked up for it. So
That's terrible.
the front ain't nothing happening to him. He out free. He walking
Yeah.
around.
I mean,
Because what did he do?
He ain't
Yeah,
do
I mean,
nothing
he
but
was
witness
there.
it. Like he ain't never
Seen
witnessed it. Yeah.
And so did everybody else online.
Right.
When I saw it, they started lock them niggas up
This
too.
is the witnesses, everybody that saw the
Right.
video. So I mean, they ain't gonna come lock everybody up that watched the video.
Right.
That shit tragic as fuck. I don't know what the fuck. I probably would ran too if I was in the car though, because like that's the first thing
If
you
you
think.
got in the back seat,
Like that's the first thing you think.
A gun going off anyway is
It's
scary.
going to make you run. Like
and not having, like I said, you go to the gun range, you got headgear, you got all that stuff and shit to contain it. It's a big open space, so it's in a car. You don't have nothing protecting your ears. Just it going off anyway would make me dip. Like,
yeah,
this shit is loud.
yeah, it's definitely. Moral of the story is people don't play with guns, and the other moral of the story is what are you doing on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, like
playing with a gun.
Don't get a gun
Live.
to somebody who you know don't know how to handle that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know that police is watching everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's easy access.
That's how they got them
Right.
so
Police
fast.
love just day to day. My dad works in police. He can just, it's easy access.
Mm-hmm.
Pictures, you know,
They really
guns
locking
and all that
themselves
stuff.
up.
Yeah,
Honestly,
they
you're
putting
snitching on
themselves
yourself,
out
old
there.
Bobby Schmurder ass
They,
niggas.
they wasn't thinking about it. They don't got no friends on Facebook. That's probably what it was like. They
They'll
ain't had that
regret
many
it
friends
later.
on Facebook, so they was just like, "Oh, we're gonna go live for who we got, the
Right.
200 people we got on our friends
On my
on
cousin.
our
They
friend
think it's
list."
cool for the moment, but they
Yeah.
don't think of the long run. It's like,
And then that happened, and now the whole country done seen it and shit. So
it's not smart. Just be careful what you post, babe.
Yeah, people is just
Stay reckless.
On that dumb shit. Go ahead.
yeah. It's just,
Go ahead.
but in other, I guess online news, what did we come across? The DNA thing.
if you need to get tested as soon as the baby born.
I saw something that said
Requirement,
it should be
yeah.
mandatory that
Like it's mandatory.
somebody, people have a DNA test when a child is born. And I want to say logically that makes sense. But I know that emotionally people are going to feel like, oh, we got to get a DNA test. That means you don't think that this baby yours, blah, blah, blah. But mind you, we just had the episode last week with a dude with the 6 kids cut Shorty head off because none of those 6 of those kids were his, poor kids. And that will prevent something like that.
Yeah.
If I know from kid 1 to kid 6, none of these kids is mine, and I can take it individually, maybe I don't need to cut your hair up. You know, it's just like, I'm just going to delete your number.
I don't think it should be a requirement. I just still think I feel like maybe doctors can ask. Like you can,
Yeah,
hey,
it's
like
a
maybe,
it is an
like,
option.
Let them know
It's an
right,
option.
but that's
Yeah.
it. It's
That's
a
that's
request.
it.
If you felt that way,
I don't-
do it.
I don't think it's a. It
You
should
have
not
the
be
option
required.
at birth to be like, look,
I don't like the idea of anything being mandatory.
Yeah,
Because
I don't
people
think it
shouldn't
should
be
be-
forced to do something they don't want to do. But at the same time, with the option, you have the disagreement. Because it's like, say, the dude might want the DNA test, the woman tripping, or vice versa.
it should be kind of discreet.
Yeah.
I feel like if a father has some doubts, it can come up to a woman like, oh, okay, so you think I'm out here, and that's gonna make her feel away, even if the guy's just protecting himself. I feel like there should be a way to do it in a low key kind of manner, like something the father of the child, whoever signs the birth certificate or whatever, can do before they do that if they like to.
But how can you make that discreet when you got a third person in the whole
That baby
thing?
there.
Well, it ain't
that
even-
baby
it ain't-
is
I'm not
there
even thinking
for
about it in terms
at
of it.
least 3 days.
Yeah.
2 to 3 days after birth. At some point, you can be like, yo, nurse.
Right. Is he mine? She mine? Let's find out. But I don't even think it has anything to do with it being discreet, whether people going to know or not. I think it comes down to the 2 people that's having this child. Because, like I said, say, for example, one of them want to go through with it, one of them don't. That's whether people know or not, that's still an issue.
It is.
And it's going to be a crossroad because it's like, I mean, somebody not going to want to do it. And it's just like, you have to, it's going to be that fight regardless of whether people know or not. And I don't know. I mean, I can see the pros and cons to both sides. But it being mandatory is extreme.
Yeah.
It is. Now you're making people run their DNA.
Right.
You can't make them
And then-
But I see the positive in it though.
I see positive and I see just negative. I see broken homes.
I see
like,
chaos.
I just see
Everything
like
is
people
going up in
married
flames
and then
in my
like
ear,
issues
in my
coming out,
mind.
and I'm like, oh man.
But see, well,
even just the fact of feeling like somebody doubts your faithfulness.
It being mandatory removes
can cause
that
a problem.
Idea, though.
Yeah, but nah. So like no, it being mandatory is already feels like an invasion anyway. But I can honestly say in being in a monogamous relationship, if I'm having a baby and he like, y'all want a DNA test,
you like, what the fuck?
I'm gonna feel away. I am gonna feel away.
But
I can't. I would be lying if I said I wouldn't feel away. Like, yeah, you know what? Go ahead. Like, nah, bitch, what you trying to say? Like,
Right,
I'm
exactly.
with you. Like,
that's the
why do we
interpreted.
need to do this?
But,
yeah.
that's the realistic.
But again,
response.
yeah. I mean, and
not
you
the logical response, but it is the realistic one.
Yeah, that is the realistic. But again, I'm thinking of the logical because it's like if it's all good, then who cares?
Right.
But
And
at the same
yeah.
time, I get it because that would go back to the whole, invasion of privacy type thing with the whole
insecurity type shit. Like,
so it's like I get it, but it's just like there really is no, I feel like, a right or wrong answer. I mean, you give people the option, but people going that's
Then
still,
you don't even know the stableness of the people who's trying to, like the mental stability of the person who's trying to figure out the
Right.
DNA
But I do
results.
feel like
you see how that man snapped and decapitated a woman
Right.
because the kids wasn't there. Like you don't know how people gonna react. I don't even know
In the hospital.
certain men be wildin'. So it's like
Yeah.
you get some information like that after going through 9 months or however long you've been with that woman and get some information like that while she can't even defend herself because she just pushed out an 8-pound baby. Like I don't know. It can get messy.
This is what I said last week. This is why I feel like if there's a situation where a woman is pregnant and she knows that she's had multiple sex partners. I don't care if she thinks she can do the math calculus in her head all this time. It was at 6:00 this day. I got pregnant 9 months. No, if you had multiple sex partners around the same time you got pregnant, let it be known.
Yes,
because it doesn't matter who you want the child's father to be.
it's a possibility.
There's
a possibility,
even if it's a fraction of a possibility, you should let that be known so the person doesn't have to feel like they need to cut your head off. And that's all I'm saying.
I don't think anybody should feel like they gotta cut somebody's head off. That is so extreme. That's so up close and personal.
I know,
like, God
I shouldn't
damn.
make a joke out of it. I mean, because poor kids.
Poor kids. They don't got no mama or daddy. Like,
Yeah, because he probably cut her head off and was like, I don't know none of y'all.
none of these things ain't going to jail. Like, what? Oh, anyway, back to this.
But that's why I feel like it really comes down to, women being honest with the person that they're dealing with that could be that they are possibly having a child with.
I just think it should stay exactly the way it is. It's available upon request.
Yeah.
If you feel away, y'all can fight for the next 3 months of this baby's life. But if you feel away and it's a type of, because it is protection to the guy to avoid situations like that. Rationally, don't just be randomly like, I want DNA testing. You know damn well she ain't step out on you.
That all goes back to knowing the person that you deal with too.
Right, but it's like it should just stay the way it's available upon request. You feel away, then fine, go ahead and get that done. It is ways to get a DNA test without the mother even knowing, just a simple swab.
Yeah.
You can just be there, washing the baby up.
Yeah, secretly, and then
she in there cooking. I'm just gonna wash the baby up.
Oh, your mouth real quick.
Swab
Get this
that
bottle.
Right. But they drooling anyway. Just go ahead and swab that. So yeah, a mandatory just makes it feel so confined in prison type shit. I don't like not having options.
Mandatory that don't need to be.
Right.
But
that doesn't need to be mandatory.
Like I said, there's probably cases that could argue both sides, and I don't have no kids, so I can't speak out of experience to be like,
I don't either, I don't think any of us do. So
no kid gang, 25 and older.
So yeah.
Yes.
Okay, 25 and older, no kid gang.
24
and older, no kid gang.
I'm almost there at 25. Let's go. I'm almost there with you.
But yeah, I don't know. Just be honest. Just be honest. And again, like I said, that goes back to knowing who you're dealing with. Like, if you know that you're dealing with somebody that you can't trust,
why are you dealing with them?
Why are you dealing with them?
Like, period.
Why are you dealing with them? But it's still very possible to get a person you don't trust pregnant.
Yeah, true.
Niggas pull out games be whack. So
if you know you trust, then there should be no pull out game. There
women
should
trap,
be
but yeah,
game. Oh yeah, whatever.
All of that. I do know somebody who was trapped in and of a twins. Poor guy. But yeah,
Damn, twins.
Yeah, he said that she tricked
Super
him,
trap.
and the pill he thought she was taking, or he said that she said she was on the pill, but she was on the pill.
She was really
It
taking
just
vitamin C.
wasn't contraception. It was fertility pills. Ended up with. But I was like, then I was like, you still chose not to pull out though.
Yeah,
you still chose to trust her birth control. I don't.
So they both wrong for that.
Mm-hmm.
They're definitely both.
I told him that. I said, yeah, you could be mad at her, but your kids was like 5, so you gotta let that go.
With the pill, it's still that 0.1%. You know.
That's why no contraception is allowed to say it's 100% effective because
even DNA tests
a
are allowed
lie.
to say they're 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
And that's fucked up.
Niggas be dumb as shit reading that. It say 99%. Who the other 1%? Who the fuck is that?
You be like, oh, for real?
Like, oh, you dumb as hell. And I don't know why you took this test.
So that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just where I'm at with people and their mentality. Well, speaking of mentality, there was a post I came across on Facebook regarding someone having the status of being grown based upon where they live at. And basically, the post basically said, can you consider someone grown if they still live at their parents' house?
I think that's old school thinking. Like, I think about like where everybody is financially as far as this generation, and there's a lot of us that still live at home because we cannot afford the housing.
And with this Trump in here, we probably gonna be at home for a while.
I look at it more as it's predominantly, in my opinion, a black culture issue. It's not necessarily. I mean, granted, there's probably people in other races that deal with that, but I feel like this is predominantly a black culture issue because I know people, because I used to work in the financial industry. There are people who of other races who live with their family up until like their late 20s, like maybe even 30s, and they're able to do that comfortably, and there's no stress, there's no pressure, there's no character assassination of these people for doing that, and it's just a culture thing. And I feel like,
nigga, you still live with your mama.
I see other cultures, and they still live with them in their 30s and 40s because it's just they contribute to the household.
Right.
Like,
there's a difference between living with and living off. Like because even if you are of adult age, that don't mean your parents is wiping your nose and helping you do all types of stuff just because you live with them. Yeah, like it's just a matter of where you fall asleep at. Right. So it's like, but you still handling all of your adult responsibilities as an adult. Now, granted, I do think it's a unique experience to be on your own because that does that teaches you something about how to just go through life on your own. But that doesn't, in my opinion, have anything to do with how you would be considered to be grown.
Yeah, to be a grown, nah.
It's just...
So, I live on my own. It's not a surprise. I don't know if it's a surprise. I live by myself, and I have for some years now. And, oh my God, I want to go back. Like, this shit is real. It is real. I wish it was an option to go back. It's not.
And I often hear people that are on their own say that.
It's different when you like, oh, I pay all my own bills, and then my stomach growls up like, shit, I gotta feed myself too. This is shit. I gotta be completely responsible for myself. That's why it's like people like to look at people who don't have to worry about stuff like that. Like, oh, you're not grown because you don't gotta do. That's people that stressed. I ain't gonna lie. I was like that. Like, oh no, you don't. Not necessarily like you're not grown, but it's like, don't try to play me for at least not having or being a certain way about my home or stuff like that because I have to pay the same amount of bills your mama pay. So don't play with me.
See,
so like,
I think that also falls into, and this is again, I think this is a black issue, but the infatuation with the struggle, like feeling like you quote unquote made it out of the struggle, got it out the mud, whatever you want to call it.
There's like
there's an infatuation with that to feel like, oh, I was able to get through all of these different struggles and challenges and things, and I'm not dead because of it. So that makes me a better person than those who don't have to go through that. And I just feel like, no, like, I think we did talk about this in the first season, but I just feel like, no, that's terrible. I wouldn't wish that on you. I wouldn't wish that on somebody. Because it's like, you should have, in the perfect world, a solid enough foundation. You don't have to struggle.
You shouldn't have had to be out the house at 18.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that black families are like, when you turn 18,
you gotta get
out of my damn house.
I think it's just a time
And
thing anyway, because even if you pass 18, sometimes it's 25 with people. Sometimes it's like, if you in your 20s and you still in your parents' house, they just like, hold on, what's taking you so long to get out of here? Like,
and that's the thing. And I feel like at our period of 20s, that's when we that's when we really beginning our lives. We're learning how to pay bills. We're learning how, starting careers and stuff. And I feel like the pressure of parents doing that is too stressful. It's like, I feel like as a parent, they see us, learning about life, and you would think that they would be, okay, let me fall back, let me let her or him, but they don't do that. It's like, oh, well.
It wasn't like that for them.
Right. It's more so like, I did it.
Yeah, let's say it wasn't like that for them. So, because their parents did that to them, it's just like, just pass it on down.
And that's how it is. So I feel like our generation could very well end that shit. Yeah. Like, because our parents can do it, but like my mom, it wasn't necessarily my mom, but my living situation wasn't necessarily the most desirable. So I was like, I could have stayed, but I like my peace. So I was like, I'm gonna go.
People will pay for peace.
I pay for peace. You've seen my play. I pay for my peace. I don't allow no bullshit in my house because I'm paying for this peace. But it's like a lot of people don't have that type of privilege. You gotta think about it from a perspective of a lot of y'all's parents. I don't want to say y'all's because if you do still live with your parents, a lot of y'all's parents still have it well enough to be able to maintain, even if you have the privilege to not be financially contributing to the house. Not everybody was like that. Right. Not everybody was raised like that. A lot of people were raised with a single parent household, paycheck to paycheck.
A negative.
You have to contribute, and they do this dumb thing as soon as the baby get a job. Now you got to pay me this to live here because mama's stressed or whatever the hell is going on. So a lot of people feel like they got to get out at that time. So they feel like, no, you're not grown if your mama is still paying for the roof that's over your head because you never really had to grown people struggle. And I feel like I get that from a certain sense, not from a patronizing sense of, you ain't no damn adult, but it's like, be prepared. Like, that's not, it's from that standpoint of, you got it right now. If you can stay there, please stay.
Okay.
Please stay.
Staying is one thing, but staying and preparing is another thing.
Yes, staying and preparing. Yes.
I've known a lot of people that moved out and, was poking their chest out like, I'm an adult, I'm a this, that, third.
They had to go back.
Throughout after they first lease, they was right back in their parent or trying to find somewhere to go because they can't afford to live on their own. Whereas I think it's better for, if possible, for a family to cultivate that type of thing where you can, plan for your future financially or whatever, and when you go, you're good, and you can.
You can't necessarily foresee certain things. Like the way I am right now, I'm like, shit, I ain't never going back. And the only time I went back to live with my peoples is because I was living with an ex-boyfriend and we broke up, and I needed some time to get my shit together so I can move out again. Because it still wasn't an option for me to be there, but I'm just like, all right, well, let me go ahead and stack some coins, get my life together, prepare myself to move out again. So you never really know what happens because I know a lot of people that had to go back. Shit happens out here. It is so real, way more than you can ever imagine.
That's why I say, even if you stand with your people, you went back to your people's house with the intent of, I'm gonna get my stuff together and I'm gonna be gone again because I'm getting myself together. And that's why I said there's a difference between living with and living off. You were living with your people. You weren't living off your people. It's not like you was just having your people, oh, I need money for food, I need this, I need that, I need you to, whatever. Like,
well, those people are not grown to me.
Like,
right.
yeah,
And
continue
that's
to
the
ask
difference.
for
That's the
handouts.
difference.
Yeah, continue to ask for handouts.
That is
That's the
somebody that
difference.
I'm gonna look
Yeah.
at like you are not grown.
Because
you
if you are an adult and you are still living with your family, if you're contributing to the household financially, whatever, then that's what it is.
It's the difference.
But some people will simplify it so much as to be like, oh, you still live with your family.
It's a
And they
yeah,
call
no,
that
that's not
shade.
it.
It's like, it's
Right.
nothing wrong
Like, how
with
you know
it.
my family don't live with me?
Right.
Like,
Right.
I just, like, it's a big difference on being on a family cell phone plan and your mama paying your cell phone bill.
Exactly.
It's like, you could be on her plan and slide her that money every month.
Right.
That's not
You can
her,
pay your
that's not
portion,
living off of,
but
right?
you're doing it to save
You're
money
doing-
at the end of the
right.
day because it's cheaper
You
than
on your
having an
mama's
individual
car
plan.
insurance, but you slide her money.
Right.
Because she ain't about to play for you. And she ain't paying for that shit.
Right.
But
And that's the difference.
that's when I'm looking at you like, baby, you don't have no idea
Right.
if your mama paying your cell phone bill, your car insurance, and you know all this other stuff. She's still building your credit if she even started, because a lot of parents don't do that. Like make a little credit card in their child's name and pay on it, so when they ready
hell no.
they can get out. Hell no, people ain't like shit. I got my own credit
card.
card. Yeah, I'm not doing this.
Yep.
Since 18.
But there are a lot of people that go through that, and I feel like if you are still in a adolescent kind of way of living with your family, then
Then you're not
That's
grown.
not an adult.
I am going to look at you like
And
you
there-
just,
there-
you
I
just
just-
got older, but you did
Right.
not
Yeah,
grow
like-
up. Like,
And that's all I want to say is that there's a difference and there's a distinction between the two. Because you can be doing adult things, grown up things, and you just so happen to sleep in a house that you live with your family.
family.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But
at all.
again, I
I
feel
I get up
like
and work every day. I do everything.
Yeah.
Right.
You got a job, you got bills coming in your name, and you paying your shit. You're an adult.
right,
You're not passing it. Oh, mommy, here's my bill.
right.
Or-
What do I do
no,
with this? Can
like,
you help me? Can you do
yes.
this? You know that's it's a difference.
I pay rent to my parents. Like,
Right.
I pay rent
After you
to
get
them.
old enough, yeah, you contribute into the
All the
household
other bills is
financially. And
mine.
again,
Mhm.
I think that's a positive because again, this is I think it's a black people issue. We don't practice group economics.
No.
For example, you might be
At least
living
not
on
the
your own.
correct way. No.
Right. You might live on your own. You might have siblings that live on your own. You got whatever. And I don't know your financial situation specifically, but like everybody's paying their own rent. When if everybody was to take all that money, put it together, y'all can have a
But that's how it was
right.
when I left. I still was like, no.
Oh, all right,
You wanted
well,
to-
I had to.
That's a
I
personal
still had. I
preference.
had to
Yeah.
pay.
Like I said, you pay
to
for your
live
piece.
there, and I was just like, I need.
That's
a
what
little
that's
more
what
piece
I'm
of
at.
that.
Right.
I pay to live at my house. Like if I was to stop paying them, it's just like what the fuck you doing? You
Right.
They gonna
Yeah.
make it for them.
Yeah, like I pay to live there, and it's more
Mm-hmm.
affordable than to be living on my own
Right.
actually because
Because it's
I'll be
easier
out
for you
here
to pay-
struggling,
It's
for
easier for you
real.
to pay for your space than to go pay for a whole house or an apartment or whatever.
Exactly.
Might even be more space than you need. So you know.
Even on a personal level, like it's like if I go back home, it's not enough space for me, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I gotta make my shit work because where am I go? But I feel like when I ain't gonna lie, my first little while of being on my own, I envy people that still lived with their parents and still had that option. Like,
So
I-
through that
I
envy, did you
envy-
feel like you threw shade
no,
to people who was in that situation?
maybe for a half a second, and I realized it wasn't right because it wasn't necessarily envy to the point of, oh, you ain't really out here like that. It was envy, like, damn, I really wish I could have stayed and it be comfortable for me to stay so that I could work on the things that I wanted to work on for myself. So it's like I see people who are in my field. I'm a photographer. If I could have stayed and just worked a regular job, I could have put more into what I wanted to go for, like into my own crafts and stuff like that, because I'm not worried about the BGE cable, everything, water, all that shit by myself.
Right.
So it's different when it's like I can't necessarily invest in my craft all the time because I know you gotta pay this light bill. So that's the only reason why it was like a little bit of envy, but it wasn't shade. And I feel like that's where I need people to understand you don't have to be shady to people's situations because they're
you
more
don't know
comfortable.
it. Like you
And
just
you
don't
Because
know
they're-
their
because
situation.
because it's something that you would probably want if
For
you
yourself.
had that option.
Yeah.
Like if you had that option to go back and have your parents' whole basement, you wouldn't take that shit.
Yeah,
like,
take that shit.
you want to be out here paying $1,400 just for the rent? Like, you ain't need, that's not even the
And
groceries.
at the end
You
of
gotta
the day,
feed
usually
yourself.
that's still just a one bedroom.
That's just
so you
the,
still got
that's
one
just,
bedroom.
yeah, like it's
Crazy.
It's a two bedroom, two bath.
Personally.
But no, but it's still like you don't want to pay that shit. You want to do it. A lot of people just do it just to say they got it, just to say they got it on their
I
own.
know, and that's just
struggling
stupid to do. Just
Yeah, like
do,
no.
Just to say you got
If it's a choice, then you either gonna suck it up and live an independent life without throwing shade, or
But like,
just shut the hell up. Like,
but like one of y'all said, like it's a generational thing. Like you said, we would probably be the ones to change it.
Yeah.
I think it is.
I hope so.
Most of our parents was probably born in was the baby boomer generation or whatever. So it's like they was having like
Baby
6,
boomers
7,
are
8,
old.
9 kids. Where it's like, yo, you old enough, you gotta go because there's 7 other your brothers and sisters that need this space, and you just in the way. And whereas most of as generations have changed, families have gotten smaller. So it's like they're not having as many kids. And the space necessary isn't as dire because it's like, I only got one sibling. So it's like, it's not like, we crammed in a small space where it's like, your little brother or your little sister needs this room and you old enough.
You got a bunk bed and a twin bed across the room. It's like, all that.
Yeah, it's like you living in like an army bunker or something. So it's like, I think that's the difference. And like you said, they were raised different. So that might be why they project that idea onto our generation per se.
Without understanding that shit was so much cheaper back then. Like,
Right.
God damn, you should have a house by now.
Well, it was right.
Right. You hear that? Oh my God. When I hear stuff like that, I'm like, yo, do you not see how much it costs?
Like, okay,
Like-
next time somebody gets smart, I'll be like, and what was gas?
Right.
Right.
What was
Yeah,
gas?
9 cents.
I go to the
was
grocery
gas
store
when you
and
was
don't
living-
barely
how
have
much
nothing
was
in
a
the
gallon
cart.
of milk
Like,
when
it'd be
you was living out
$80.
here?
But I will say though, even though things were cheaper back then, the wages were lower back then too. So it was kind of proportionate. But at the same time, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
Because now you get to a point where, honestly,
And now our age, we
$60,000 a year is
Not
still not
not
enough.
It's still nothing.
You can make
Especially
$30 an hour, and it is
It's
still
People have to get
not
2 and 3
enough.
jobs just to make
And because,
ends meet,
and I
it's
think
still
that's
not
that's
enough.
Yeah.
That's enough for maybe you to get a nice little place to live comfortable and live below your means, but
It's not enough.
God
It's
forbid
not
you get
enough.
pregnant.
Then you're
Or
going
you
to
you
wanna
want to have a
college.
family, or do anything, or decide you want to go back to school, or anything like that. It is just
because that's
it's
how
not
I
enough
think,
money.
I think that's how they.
That's a
got our
debate I'm going
situation.
through right now. I want to go back to school, but I'm like, yo, I
You
don't
trying to
know
take
if
on that debt.
Yeah, like, I'm like, I don't know if I can
And
take
that's
on
the
cost
thing.
hella
That's a
bread.
whole
Like,
That's the thing. I'm still paying off student loans, and I'm like, why does it have to cost so much for me to better myself?
Yes.
To make it at least,
To be
it's
trying to
crazy.
live,
but all
trying
they
to
want
stay
to
off
say
the
is you
debt.
should go to college.
right.
It's like, okay,
Right. That's what like that's
That's a
exactly
whole
what
nother-
you hear. I'm like, I'm sitting here like, what? You should go back. Go get your master's. I'm like, well, you know how much it costs for 1 year to
Right.
go to school for a master's? Like 3 credits. Just for 3 credits, it's like $3,000 for the 3 credits. That's one class.
And that's just for the class.
Like,
that ain't got nothing to
that's
do
one
with
class.
the books.
Yeah,
with the
like-
parking. If you got people parking, all the tools you're gonna
I'm
need.
like, I
to,
want to. If school was free, I would be on it. But it's just like I don't know. And I definitely was thinking about that before I came here. Like that was one thing I was looking. I was on school websites, and then I was just like, you know what? I'm just
Too
going to have to
much.
wait. I'm just going to have to wait till I finish this school loan, paying off this school loan because I do not want to put myself in more debt.
and because I
too
feel like the
much.
older people didn't have to deal with that because college wasn't pushed upon them the
And I
same
was
way it's
getting ready
pushed
to say
upon
that.
You
us.
want to know why? It was
That's
more
what I'm
trades
saying.
back then.
Right.
It was
And most
it
of
was
the-
focused more on trades than
Most of the
college.
trades that was offered to people in the generations before us was in their grade school years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my father, he got all his trades and a lot of his certificates in high school, from his high
You get a
school.
workshop,
took
like
all
all
those
that.
Yeah,
trades.
that's what my
Right.
mother did too.
Mhm.
Like
They took
the
all
trade
of those
in the
trade
school.
programs
Yeah.
out of the high schools and turned them into like post high school things that
Yep.
you got to pay for, which
Like,
again
you
you're
can
gonna be in
go
debt
through the
for.
classes in high school. Like you can have magnets.
Right, but
But
that ain't
it's
gonna
not-
do nothing.
It's
It
not.
ain't
It's
gonna
not a
take-
trade.
You can't
It's
take
not,
that
That's what
into
I'm
the
saying.
work
Like
field.
now you gotta, but after you get out of high school, you got some knowledge from your
Yeah.
magnet, but you still gotta go take a whole different course.
to get
And
certified
the
or
reason, like I
whatever.
said, the reason I didn't go to college. Well, I went to college for a little bit. Like I did a little bit of CCBC, but then I went and got a trade, and I was like, all right.
Right.
Sometimes it's
Oh,
better
right.
because, like, with the expense of college, it's like you can find easier ways to get trades or certifications and things like that. Like, I got pharmacy certification through my job. And it's like, okay, pharmacy is a good field. And it's like, okay, that's good for right now because, you know, okay, a degree could take you elsewhere. But it's like right now, I just feel like you have to find that one thing right now.
It's going to keep you stable for right now to get you through to the next step.
Hard.
Right.
Exactly.
So trades are
It's
becoming
hard
like
to
the
just
new hustle.
go
It
4
is,
years
but
straight,
trades can be
like,
tricky.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the
Because
last thing you want to do is get comfortable in that trade
Yeah.
and
Right.
completely forget
Yeah.
that this was just a
And that's
stepping
the thing.
stone.
Exactly.
You were supposed to keep going, but then you get in that
There's a lot of
trade.
people that's like
You
that.
get in
They
the
just
trade
keep seeing
money,
where they're at.
unless it's really what you want to do. You can get in that trade. A lot of people be like, you know what? Plumbers make good money.
Yeah.
Because they do a job don't nobody want to fucking do. I'm going to go be a damn plumber to get some money so that I could go do XYZ
Right.
and da da
But I
da
really
da.
wanna be a
But then you just,
programmer.
Yeah.
right, but you
Exactly.
just stop at being a plumber. Be like, well, this is paying the bills. Shit.
And then
So,
it's like, too, those
Well, that's
who
because life hits
graduated
people,
with
and it's
life
just
hit,
like,
and I'm telling you that.
is doing something that they, you know, they can have degrees in psychology and end up in grocery store. You
Yeah.
just never
Psychology
know. Like,
degrees
it's
are
just
difficult.
hard.
yeah.
But yeah, it's anyway. I've seen a lot of people who go get a trade, get a job, like you said, they'll get a job,
and work.
go and get a degree, and they don't find work
Nothing.
for a very long time.
That's
Or
how
it
I
may
feel
not be
right
what
now.
they
Like for
wanna
me, like I went to school for communications, and the communications is so competitive. Everyone wants to go for communication, so they should have told all of us when we were applying that was going to happen. Because when you're applying to jobs, it's so many people you
They make
competing
you
for
feel
to
like
get
when you
It's,
get
there.
a degree,
it's
the
almost
sky's the
not
It's
their
like-
responsibility to do that when you apply for it.
Yeah,
It's kind of like you got it. They don't care. They don't want
they
your
don't
money.
care. They just yeah.
You
So
supposed to do
it's
that
just like
research.
that's
Be like,
something that you're supposed to, but nobody
But
knows
again,
because they pressure you to
Yeah,
go
they
to
do.
college.
pressure you to figure
yeah.
something
and
out.
then
Pressure.
they pressure you to go to college and follow your dreams.
Yes,
Right.
they pressure you to
And
go
your
to
dreams
college.
are competitive as hell.
Well, not even that. They make you, they make
So
you
I
feel like,
wound
they
up
make you feel
going
like if
into
you
a
don't go to college, you're not going to be anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the
And
thing, too.
so that pressures people to be like, all right, I'm going to go to college and just pick this.
But trades
And
are
then-
actually coming back now.
Trades are, yeah, that's true. But they coming back in a new fashion. Like I said, trades used to just be, you know, part of school. You pick whatever it is that you're good at. You pick that trade. You go do whatever you want to do. And if it's something else you want to do, then you already got that knowledge. Whereas now trade is becoming the new college, like the end game. So it's like, you know, I don't
Just
know.
last year, you go to trade school for
We used to clown those
$2,000
Everest commercials.
And then
and-
be out in
Commercials
8
used to
weeks.
be
Like,
funny,
it's,
though.
We used to clown
Look at
those
you. You
Everest.
sit on the couch. You ain't doing that with your life.
Oh
You must
my
When you ain't doing nothing, you might as well call Everest.
Right.
Like, and when you think about it, you should have
started-
called them.
I started-
Because, like, you should have fucking called them.
Started
Because-
Now she a nurse.
Video, still in that
Now
type of
she a
thing.
nurse and she chilling.
Yeah.
You just got your damn degree.
You
and
just
you gotta
got
start
it,
paying
yeah.
off the damn student loans.
Exactly. So,
It's a trap,
They don't
goddamn
have
it.
those no more, though. I
What?
don't see them on TV no more.
What,
Like,
Everest?
Yeah, they still
Or,
come on.
or just like
It's on
the
daytime
Everest
TV.
commercial? Really?
Yeah, I watch ESPN.
yes,
Or like
yeah,
the
it is
schools, like,
daytime
hey,
tip.
what
It's
you doing
daytime
with your-
Yeah, I watch
television.
CBS at
Yeah,
11
it's on like
p.m.
daytime. they still do it.
Yeah, I watch it right after Maury.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's when all those commercials come on.
And you know,
Yes.
in between prices right commercials.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know,
Especially the Romeo commercial.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh my gosh, that one used to kill me. Like, really.
Like,
But I
why is
feel like
Romeo
they-
rapping for me to go to college?
Yeah.
What was the name of that one?
Was it Fortis? No, not Fortis. It was
No,
But that's another trade school.
University of Phoenix or something like that. I don't know. It was
No,
It wasn't University of
Something like
Phoenix.
I don't
It was a
know.
trade
Oh,
school.
It was a trade
Definitely
Oh, that's gonna
online.
I think they should
college.
put all the trades back into high schools, though.
But they're not gonna
They
do it
should.
because it's
It's money. We don't
For
have
one,
the money
But
in
you
the
know
school.
how I'm about to
Yeah,
say,
for
do you know
one,
how
that
much
would
they
take
have to
funding.
invest in
Yeah,
schools?
they
That
don't
would
have the
take
money
They
in
don't
the
even want to
school.
give city schools heat in the summer.
Yeah.
They're going to give them a chance to
Right.
make something out of themselves in high school.
yeah, that would
Shit.
take funding, which they're not gonna get.
They don't even get new books.
Right.
Nope.
Right.
We
So-
supposed to, and then they would have to get themselves to be an accredited source to be able to give
which costs
somebody
money.
Yeah.
to give somebody a certification of any kind. Like you could say, "Oh, I went to this school," so
It's just
like,
so
are they
messed up.
credited? It's just like
Right.
any college. You can go to a
Right.
college and you gonna say, "I went to CCBC," but the person you up against went to Johns Hopkins,
Yeah.
and they gonna be like,
Nah.
Right.
"Okay."
They're like,
So-
you saying nothing.
So you know, then it's gonna be the competition of getting. This kind of already is a competition of getting to the best high schools,
Yeah.
sort of in your zone.
Right.
But
But I feel like this all ties into like the rebuttal for like the older generation trying to make it seem like we don't have our stuff together. It's like y'all ruined it.
You ruined it.
Like,
Yo.
listen to everything we saying. Like,
Right.
I gotta get to that same destination, moving rocks
We'll
and
have
boulders and
trades
shit
in
out
the
of the way,
school
because y'all
hall.
fuck
The one
everything
that y'all
up.
put here that I gotta clear out the way so I can do what I need.
Right.
Why can't they see it like that? My parents say that all the time. It's like
They always be talking about how
Really?
millennials.
That's
and
why
whatever else,
I love my mother never ever does that.
Yeah, mine
she be
don't
like,
either.
girl, I know it's hard as hell, ain't it? I be like, girl, I'm over here tripping. Pull me up. Like, I don't know what the hell is going on out here.
my mom could say it's hard, but then she'll be like,
She said,
but you
"Pull me
still
up."
need to-
yeah, exactly. That's how my
shorty.
my parents
Damn, it's hard.
they'll be like, it's hard. My father always just take pity on my generation. I just feel so bad for y'all. Like, cause he know he's like, I feel so bad for y'all because it's just like y'all don't get no type of help. He be like, you ain't got no job yet in your field, and I'm like, yo, like.
I'm asking the
I
same
created
question.
a job for
Jack.
myself. Like, I literally had to start my own
Yeah, you gotta start it from
business.
the bottom.
Like, I had to start my own business. I had to do everything on my own to give myself the experience that I need.
And that's the upside, though, the silver lining in it, because it's like it's forced us to make our own ways instead of trying to wait for somebody to give it to us.
Especially in communications, because now all you have to do is appeal to the masses. You just gotta, with there being social media, it's easier for you to come
Before
up
you used to
off
have
of
to try
your
to get a
own.
publication,
Right.
and
Yeah, it's-
find some type of thing to work for or whatever.
It's easier to come up off of your own craft now. You can go and meet with somebody and they listen to Busy Doing Nothing and be like, this shit lit. Let me play this to somebody else and get them some funds. Let me invest in this. And next thing you know, this is being built upon. And it started with you. And, go ahead and shout out, don't judge me with a hand. So, but it's different. That's the only, one of the very few, if not only, advantages that we have is that for the creatives, it's easier to get into your field. It's different when,
Not even
back
get
then
into
if you
make
was a
your field.
painter, you just had to hope somebody came and saw your your painting. Like,
You need to literally go out there.
and it's
for real.
and it's literally word of mouth. Oh, you gotta go down to this shop on such and such to see this artist. Now it's like, yo, I can just DM you. Yo, look at this picture I painted. You and then bam, did he buy your picture?
Yeah.
And I feel that's the benefits of social media because you could promote yourself
That's what it was
easily and
invented
it
for.
could take off. Like, I don't know how many people I done seen make videos and end up on Ellen or you know what I mean. Like, it's quick, so I feel like that's a.
It's also a downside too because it's
Everything has
saturated.
a
Yeah,
rise
it
and
is.
fall.
Right, with so
Yeah.
many people doing the exact
That
same
is-
thing.
and
And
too.
then, but it all comes back to being the best.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and
It's a
offering
competition.
something that no other person in that field can offer, as well as, I guess,
Just being unique
Yeah,
to
like-
your own stuff.
I feel
because everybody gonna want to do it.
to bring
because
it back
it's
full
easy.
circle, I feel like it ties into people who use social media to do it authentically. Because the one thing I hate to see is when people is on social media portraying themselves to be something that they are not.
Right.
Case in point, the woman who shot the man in the head, like she was talking in the video, like she was all about that life, and as soon as the trigger went off, she shot the dude. She ran.
And ran,
Because
yeah.
obviously she's not about that life. Like, you're not about pulling triggers and watching people die.
Right.
So, it's just like that's what the damn, I lost it.
Starting
Yeah. Just people being their authentic selves, and we're supposed to be the ones to do that. Like, I feel like it gets too lost in people just trying to do for whatever they can get the most views of, whether or not that's how they really feel or how they actually behave. And it's just like,
no, a lot of people try to.
too many
Could
gimmicks.
probably try to have, but gimmicks bring in viewers sometimes. Gimmicks can appeal to a certain group of people, and then you can stop that gimmick and appeal to a whole different group of people. And maybe some of those first group might still fuck with you, like Nikki. It could be a lot of people that was with the Harajuku Barbie shit, and then after she stopped, some people were still rocking with her, but then she started appealing to other people, and that's how she built that. But it's a big lack of authenticity on there, and a lot of the shit that happens is based off popularity.
Yeah.
So you can have the best, you can be the best, but you only got 1,000 followers.
Yeah.
How you gonna get your shit out there?
Right.
So that's
I don't know.
that's the
I'm
only
just not one
upside.
to sacrifice, being authentic
Mm-hmm.
to trying to appeal to masses that don't. It's almost the same as like faking who you are to try to get a friend just because that's somebody that you want to think that you're cool,
Right.
when that's not really who you are type deal. And
Kind of with social media, kind of.
and I'm not.
Which is why we fuck with Cardi.
Yeah.
True. Bringing it
She
back
being
full
her,
circle.
she being full circle.
Yeah.
No, because she was her exact self. The same chick you saw on Love and Hip Hop
Yeah.
is the same
It's the
chick you see
same-
right
that's
now.
her.
Shout out to
About
Cardi
that
B.
shit.
I'm gonna listen to that whole album.
Just be
Are
nice.
you-
y'all.
And bumping in the car, y'all.
Be nice.
Like,
Yeah, bumping in the car.
Go for a ride,
Okay,
y'all.
okay.
Go for a
So
ride.
I will post a video of me bumping Cardi B in Ghost sometime this week
We gonna hold you
to prove.
you are.
Wait, yeah,
You definitely
I'm
are.
prove
definitely-
the authenticity. All right, so when I tell you I'm going somewhere, you tell me make sure you listen to Cardi
Don't
B.
go nowhere
No,
like
you
up the
should
street.
know.
Don't go to the
You
I'm
should
grocery
saying
know.
Go
if you
somewhere.
don't see me do it, then you gotta remind me. That's
That should be number one for this week.
that's what I'm going to do.
Get that done so you can review that. You gotta review stuff like that.
Okay.
I've listened to it. I just didn't bump it in
You
the car.
ain't
Bumping it in the car is a challenge, and that's
You
what
said
I'm
you
gonna,
couldn't get through it.
and that's what I'm gonna do. I mean, I heard what I heard, but I'm a.
Ghost will make it better.
Let's get this closing shot before I get back.
Let me get some.
But this be enough.
Oh yeah.
I'm doing
Secondary
wine.
drink of the day on the low is Arbor Mist.
I'm doing
Alright.
wine.
Word. For the
Are you
lightweight,
pouring your or is that your shot?
That's my shot.
I'm not a lightweight.
Okay, shout out to me.
I had a no. It is. Shout out to you for the lightweights. But I'm just saying for me specifically,
Had a
I
long
died
day.
yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Niggas was I was in the bed when he was like, "Can you come through?" Yeah, I'll be there, yo.
Well, you know,
Shout out.
this
I had to
cat
stop
better
and
than
get
like 4
I
bottles
know
over
people
here.
probably gonna be like, "Is this chick just sitting there drinking ginger ale?" Yes, I am because I'm going through
Calm
it,
your
and you know
stomach.
that cure everything.
Well,
Right.
shout out to you
Yeah.
for coming.
That's another-
When I fuck with the
Sidebar, that's another black mentality. Why do black people think ginger ale fixes everything?
Because it do, y'all.
Why? Says who?
It don't matter.
No, it don't.
Ginger.
So anyone that drinks
You
the
know what
ginger
it is?
ale.
You know what it is? It's because ginger root. does it.
Yes.
But why not just drink something that's not soda?
Well, Grandma
Exactly,
said
but
ginger
it's
helps with
ginger. It's
everything.
ginger,
So-
but you ain't gonna just go get no ginger. So you're like ginger ale, right?
Right.
Propaganda. It's still soda.
Right.
It'll break you out.
It
It'll
is.
make
It's
that
still
soda.
It's
soda.
still soda,
But it
but
makes you feel
makes
better
you feel
because
better.
it's not like coconut.
Yeah.
Stomach ache go away.
It make you
and
feel better.
all of that.
It really do though. And then get
Next
some
time you
chicken
nauseous,
noodle soup.
drink some
There you go.
chicken
How
noodle
would it go?
soup. Chicken noodle soup. Some ginger ale and a nap.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
cool. I
on.
usually just skip to the nap, and when I wake up, I'm usually good.
But you sleep for like 12 hours, so I mean,
Yeah.
that already.
You
That's a
be in
nap.
coma,
That's a nap. That's a nap. That's a healthy nap.
That's
That's not a nap.
Not a nap.
No.
That's straight sleep to the next day.
That's a healthy
coma.
nap.
You
No,
don't
it's
get
not.
like 8 hours. You just stole some more.
Yeah, I gotta make sure you're alive because I'm like, you good?
Yeah, I do be kind
I
of
be
like.
concerned, like.
You sleep like a brick though? Do you sleep like a brick?
I'm like,
I did.
okay.
Like I fell
know
asleep.
he's
What was
knocked
it?
out, but he'd be
Thursday
like-
night. I fell
He
asleep
got
at like.
texting me like 4.
I fell asleep at like 8 o'clock.
11.
I ain't wake up till 7:30 the next morning.
Yes.
I ain't wake up to use the bathroom. Nothing. I was out. That was like almost 12 hours.
Ow.
And it was the
It was
best.
tired.
feeling.
That baby tired.
And then I woke up with a headache because I slept too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wake up like, what the hell
And
day
then
is
he
it?
would want to sleep the headache off. It's like.
Yeah. Sleep is the answer to
too much.
everything.
But
I
sleeping too
agree.
much is not good.
Oh, when you
It- yeah,
sleep.
it can
You
make
getting
you-
checked right now.
It's
It is
not
so
good,
When
though.
funny.
you sleep, it contacts your ethereal spirit. You
I
get
love. how
Go
he's
ahead
doing
with
like
his toes
the-
because I'm not playing with you.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so this is the Busy Doing Nothing. I haven't done a table slap in a minute. Well, you're right in the middle of the conversation. I am your host, Mr. Freeminds. To my left, I have
Taylor, aka Doc, and to my left I have.
Rosa to my left.
with the
With
tongue roll.
To my left ahead.
I'm Lonnie Lynn.
No, AKAs.
No,
know,
I mean, this
let me-
ain't my show. Like,
Let me tell you, I'm already thinking of AKAs.
you gotta have your
For when-
anybody who know or
damn,
try
for
to come.
when.
Cause don't be surprised, Taylor. I'm not playing. Like, don't Doc. Listen, you come to our show and be like, oh, I had no idea. I'm gonna look at you like, yes, you did. Yes, you
Especially
did.
since we've been
That's
there
how
once
we,
already.
right.
We can't even do the whole I
That's how
didn't
you
know.
introduce yourself
I'm
on
thinking
our
of them.
show,
I'm working on them right
you
now.
say your name, you got some bomb ass AKAs.
By
Like
the
I
time
am
we
Lonnie
make it-
Lynn, aka the motherly child, aka Miss Tell Her Like It Is.
I love how she changed her AKAs up since, things changed.
Nigga, I got a man. No,
certain
niggas still ain't
statuses
shit.
changed.
Oh, she say I'm
Certain
man.
statuses
got
changed,
man.
and all the AKAs changed
Still ain't
with it.
shit.
But that ain't a problem. You gotta worry
Cause
about
he was
it.
with me. He was with me today on Twitter. Like niggas ain't shit. I know, baby. You see, I ain't fighting this cause for no reason. I'm glad I chose you. Shit. What was my other one? AKA Petty Juan Kenobi. It is what it is.
Petty.
It is. But yes, you can follow us. I'm doing my shameless plug. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook if you want to see more of me. I talk shit a lot.
And be funny.
And thank you. It's a gift. Yeah, come talk some shit with me. You can find me on Facebook. That's where we post our big mass posts and let everybody go at it.
And I was thinking that she loves debate.
Oh yes, no, I
She
stirred a pot. It's either I'm gonna debate with you or I'm gonna make you say some shit.
I
You don't
forgot
gotta
what it
listen.
was. I
Down.
commented on you said you was gonna block me. I'm
I'm gonna go look for it. I think you probably said something.
was something
It could
crazy.
probably either be something super serious or something petty as hell. Like he could have just said he don't like
No,
something.
what I
like,
said was petty. I remember it was petty, but I
What
can't
are you
remember what
talking
it was.
about? I'm gonna find it.
I think it was your post that you said something about what should be some type of actual revenge for somebody like your significant other that cheated on you or something. Well, it might have been.
Oh, could you
Dee's
take
fault.
your significant other back if you cheated on you? You said something that I wanted, definitely was getting ready to report you.
Oh, if you want to go look for that.
It was, he just said something
It ain't
wild.
nothing
I know
you
he
gotta worry
wasn't, I know he wasn't serious, but it was just like, shut up, y'all.
It made sense. It made sense. You can't say it don't make sense.
I'm gonna find what he's saying. I'm gonna tell
I
y'all
remember
what
what
he
I
said.
said. I remember I said, yeah, you can come back as long as I get to cheat on you and you gotta watch it.
That's what he said. If you cheat on me, I'm
Oh, that
gonna
made me
cheat on
think
you
about that
and you
movie,
gotta be.
Adulterer.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
God.
yeah. That came on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to watch that. I kept forgetting about
That
it.
shit was fun.
Wow.
It was good.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? If you cheat
No,
on
it
me,
I
wasn't.
wouldn't
I'ma
say it's
cheat on
good.
you,
It
you gotta
just
sit there and
make
look
it
at
be
it.
like, yo, really? Like,
For real.
Oh,
She was ready to report me for
like
that.
you gotta go.
It was.
You gotta
joke,
go.
Kinda, half joke, but
It's a little bit of truth in these jokes. It's a little bit of truth.
but
Well, okay.
that ain't nothing we gotta worry about. We already did all that. Oh, make sure you go to www.bdnpodcast.com. Get your tickets for the 90s party. As I mentioned earlier, you got to make sure we get to the 90s party. Come in your best 90s outfit. You will receive a special gift, a reward, whatever. We going to set up a table. We're going to put a topic up there. I'm probably lying. We ain't going to do that. But it's going to be a table that's like, something, change my mind. You're going to see one of us sitting there without, with one of our legs crossed. Or one of our legs crossed. Don't let me knock the table off. That would be terrible. And
Drunk kind
yeah, you have to change our mind, and you have to come argue with us and all that. So what else? Oh, also make sure you go to www.dotscastlemedia.com. Get your latest read-ups, your news, all that stuff. And
yeah, 'cause my Photoshop work now, so it
All
can't be popping.
That's
in
enough to
business,
check his money.
I had to pull some technical support, even though I don't even think I did anything. But also make sure you go to www.freemindsclothing.com. Get yourself your gear, all of that. Get your We're Not, in parentheses, Friends hoodie. All that. And again, go to Don't Judge Me podcast. What was it? Don't Judge Me. Don't judge me. Make sure you follow Don't Judge Me.
But that was exactly what you were right.
Okay.
Why are you struggling? It's okay.
I don't know. Like
It's the
okay.
drink. It's
It's
the
the
drink.
drink.
It's SoundCloud. Okay, so it's SoundCloud.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get to.
Oh my
Don't
gosh.
Judge Me podcast, and we are also available on iTunes. So if you have an iPhone, that cute little podcast app, we're right there. Don't Judge Me podcast. You'll see my face and two other guys, but don't worry about them. It's just me. Nah, shout out to them though.
We appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. And until next time, make sure everybody be safe, ceasefire. Don't shoot nobody. Don't cut nobody heads off.
Hey.
Cups
Yes.
up.
Oh my God.